Okay, we are now to the point where we are on part 6, creating online forms. For those of you who like to follow along in the book as well, we are on page 242. Online forms are used to collect user information and then transfer information to a web server. And you can do surveys, electronic commerce, guest books, polls, membership applications, and they all make use of the form technology. While a well-designed form is very easy to use, poorly designed forms prove extremely troublesome for both users who complete the forms and for web server managers who access the user data. Fortunately, Dreamweaver makes it easy to create robust and yet understandable forms and simplify and streaming the interaction between users and web servers. Web-based forms compose from a series of form objects, also referred to as form fields. There's a whole bunch of different types of form objects. We will deal with several of them today, and they all gather different types of information. Basically, all form objects allow users to do is enter data, and then the object type facilitates a distinct format for that data input. So you can use Dreamweaver to create a number of different form objects, including text fields, radio buttons, checkboxes, menus, and buttons. It is important to realize that processing a submitted form requires some type of script, and that script you are going to get from your hosting server. Most hosting servers will have several scripts that you can use depending on what type of form that you are building. So you are going to need to be in touch with your server to find out what the scripts are available for you. Many hosting servers offers sample form processing scripts as well as instructions on how to implement those scripts once you build the forms. So you shouldn't have any problems actually processing your form once it's done. So anyway, let's get started. Create a form element. A form element is a distinctive element of a web page because it is the container for all the form objects, and you have to have the form element completely encompass anything within the form itself. As a container, the form element ensures that the different form objects are all related to one another, which makes it possible to combine all the form information in a single submission. A form submit button identifies all the related form objects, collects the information that they contain, and then sends them along to the server. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need to do is make sure that you have signup.html open. The second thing you want to make sure is that you are in live view. The third thing that you're going to do is you're going to select the paragraph below the title, and you will know that you've got it selected when there is a blue line all the way around it. The next thing you're going to do in the insert panel is click on the Forms tab. It's the second one over. Once you have done that, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the Form button, which is the first button. It opens a box you can't see with before, after, wrap, and nest, and you are going to click the after, which will insert it after the selected tag. And as soon as that happens, what you're going to see is you're going to see a form field that was built that says content for form goes here. Now, the first thing that we have to do is give the actual form a name. So we're going to go down to the properties in the bottom, and where it says ID, we are going to type in the word register, which is the name of the form that we're giving it. And then hit the tab. And then the next thing we're going to do is we have to do an action. What the action does is it tells the form how they want the information to be handled. And in this case, what we are going to do is what's called a mail to, which means it's going to be emailed to the server. So we're going to type in the action area, mail to, with a colon, and then info@voices. And then hit tab and save your work. Okay, the next step is to create form text fields. Text fields are defined with the HTML input tag and are the fundamental building blocks of almost every online form. HTML adds a number of field types and attributes to the input tag, which makes it easy to define special fields such as email addresses, phone numbers, and even passwords. Dreamweaver incorporates these options directly in the Insert Form panel, so you have them all available to you. And if the user's browser doesn't support certain options, the special fields will behave as regular text fields. So you're going to find that it works out pretty nifty there. Okay, with our signup.html still open, the first thing we need to do is turn off live view. So we're going to go into design view. And then we want to be in source code and split view. So again, we're on the sign up HTML, we are in design view, we are on source code and in split view, so we can see both on each side. Okay, the first thing that we are going to need to do is we want to take where it says content for the form goes here and just take it out because we don't need it. Okay, secondly, we're going to start putting in our first form input item, which is going to be a text field. So the second one in is the text field one, and I am going to grab it and put it inside the orange area, which is the form area, and let go. You'll see that it says text field, and we now have a box that is there as well. If I take and review it in the code pane, I will see that it comes in two parts. The first is called the label area. The label area is the actual where it says text field right here on the left that the user can read. And then the input type is the second area. And the input type of this one, of course, is text. And right now it's named text field. So we're going to fix that. The easiest way to fix the input type name is down in the properties panel at the bottom, and where it says properties and it says it's a text field and then it says name. In the name area, we are going to change that to first name, all one word, all lowercase, and hit tab. You will see indeed what it did over here in the input type that's text. It says first name. And it also gave a first name ID. The only other thing that we still need to do is we can't call it text field here because the visitors wouldn't know what that meant. So we're going to go over into the label area, and where it says text field, we're going to change that, and we can use capital letters here because it's what the viewer sees, and we're going to type in first name and then click. And then you'll see it says refresh at the bottom of the panel in the properties panel, so click refresh. And now what we have up here is first name and the text area for the person to write in their first name. One more thing that is important to do also down in the properties panel while we are in that is we also want to make it a required field. So I want you to check required. Now why you check required is they have to fill in the first name or the send button will not work or the submit button will not work. So when it comes to important things that you absolutely have to have, like first name, last name, maybe street address, or maybe email, anything that's pertinent to what information that you have to have. Make sure that you do check the required box for each one of the input boxes. Now what we are going to do is build another one. So how we do that is we are going to click our blinking cursor directly after the first one that we built, the existing text field, and press enter to create a new paragraph. Once we have created a new paragraph, the second one is also going to be a text field. It's going to be for the last name. We're going to take and drag down another text field. And of course, the first thing we do is name the text field down in the properties panel. So we're going to call this all one word, all lowercase, last name. We're going to make sure this is required. We are going to go into the code, and under the label where it says text field, we are going to type that, what the viewer can see. So last name with capital letters. And click down and refresh. And now we've got first name, last name with input text fields that are both required. At this point, let's do a Control S to save our work. One thing I want to mention at this point, if you're following along in the book or even if you aren't, okay, pages 247 through 249, the green pages in the book, talk about all the HTML form fields in depth. And it's really, really important that you read through this, because what you're going to discover in there is you can put maximum lengths on how much text can be put in the box. You can set sizes. You can make it to where the user can just tab through each one of the boxes that you have available. Okay, it also talks about the different types of form fields that there are and what they can be used for. So it's really, really important that you go through these pages, and also you may end up with some questions on the test, your final test from this area. So please, please spend some time reading through it so it makes sense to you, okay? Okay, just judging from the time, this video is now 12 minutes and 45 seconds, and I want to keep these at 15 minutes or less per video. So I'm going to stop it here at this point, and in the next video we are going to start on page 250, create a menu field. So be back with you in the next video.